So hey people, here we are again with another video. This time it's about Chris D'Elia. Hope I pronounce it right. He is in a spotlight actually some time ago because some of his text messages has gone out. How he was speaking to these very young girls that some kinda looked younger or they were too young, and he realized and he stopped messaging them. But he was very straightforward with what he wanted because he has been on a roll for a long time. Being a famous actor, being a famous comedian, you have to be careful. But once you start getting all these messages when you're not supposed to, and it seems to be quite easy, and people that don't know you offer specific options on these shows, it's okay maybe. But the problem is, it kind of became okay everywhere. So he was starting to messaging people before they even came on the show. And whenever you're comfortable with something that's illegal but still a touchy subject, usually you will start normalizing certain action that you don't see as bad as I think you're supposed to. That's at least my opinion. And let's see what he has to say.
I know that it's been a really long time since you've heard from me. And when the news broke, I put out a statement that said everything I've done has been legal and consensual, and that's true. And I wanted that statement to speak for itself. I wanted to talk immediately. I wanted to post online. I wanted to do my podcast business as usual, but I thought that might not be the best thing. What might be the best thing it would be if I just take this time to be with my family, try and take a long hard look at myself, and just and do that. And it was a lot. It was hard. I first of all, I do know how it looks with all the stuff that's been said and the emails that have been put out there and what the media has been trying to say. And I know it looks bad, and it
I'm just happy that he realized this. Legally, at least from what I'm understanding, from what I can see on the internet, he hasn't done anything legally wrong. Morally, or I would say morally, but no, I would say actually morally, but the way he went about it, the way he approached specific people, the way he texted, it was so gangster and straightforward. He didn't realize it. That surprises me, but then again, I'm not in his life. But I know enough people that people keep throwing the poom poom in their direction. They really have a hard time to disconnect from it. And he is a famous person. 40-year-old dude. He was younger before, but he has been getting weird options from women. It didn't make any sense. And it became a lifestyle. It's not like a choice anymore. It became a lifestyle. What are you gonna do on the weekend? Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna do some comedian. I might get like a bunch of messages from these women. I will try to connect with them and we'll see what happens. But I'm definitely gonna have some action, you know?
it doesn't show the full scope of what happened. I stand by the fact that all my relationships have been consensual and legal, and that's just it. I through this kind of time away, I've seeked out a lot of kind of. I have come to understand is this was always about sex to me. I mean, sex controlled my life. It was the focus. It was my focus all the time, and I had a problem, and I do have a problem. It's not like you know, months down the line, you just kind of
I find this really interesting. The way he said, I threw this away. All these things, all these action, his whole experience is like a specific time he threw away that he could benefit on something else. I'm not saying that I'm Gandhi or whatever. Wait, that's a very bad example. My bad. The only reason I didn't go crazy by cheating or whatever is because I always had friends that had almost this lifestyle and they all say the same thing. And I'm like, you're the man having the good time. What are you on about? Because I could have cheated. With very unique, interesting situation. But they were there. But I was so afraid of these confessions of people and friends that I'm like, why isn't it so good? And why is it so glorified? He lost time. I don't like to lose time.
When I first started doing stand-up and I started getting a little bit of notoriety in my early 30s, having sex got a lot easier, is the, for the lack of better words. And I felt lucky. I felt like, oh, wow, I don't need to work as hard. I can just do a show and then have sex, or roll into a city and look at my inbox and then just start writing. And I did, man. I wrote.
And this is from somebody that's doing something legally correct. Even if it was 30 or 50, by my standard, I don't think it's the right way to live your life. Just going plowing. I just don't think it's the right way to live your life. That's my point of view. I mean, it might be very Gucci, but in everything that we have indulged, either gaming, drugs, girls, anything, even the affection of specific families that constantly make you feel safe, there's something wrong about it. And that's what I realized that a lot of people don't see. If you do something once in a while, it's Gucci. But if it's constant, it will change the way you think. And you cannot say, I have not changed. I'm just happy he realized it.
I mean, I know you've seen some of the messages online. I mean, there's way more than that. I would get at least 50 messages after a show each city a night, and I would reply to all of them. And I thought in my mind that being straight up with these women was the right thing to do. I'd say, hey, come to my hotel room and let's have sex, let's make out, let's do this, let's do that. That was what I thought was right. I realized through all of this is just treating sex like it's casual and being flippant with people. It makes me feel shameful and it makes me feel bad. People talk a lot about the power dynamic and about why should someone who is a fan of yours have to worry about if you want to sleep with them or not. And especially in my early 30s, I would be like, well, the girl has the power because that's, I want to have sex with them. And if they want to have sex with me, then great. I can say is the familiarity. I would use the familiarity that I had with these women to have sex. I was like, oh, they already use me. They already know me. I didn't have to do the extra work.
The ice is already broken. I did not have game to speak to women because there was this barrier, this defenses, this shit test. I never passed the shit test. My nephew did. I never passed the shit test. But once the shit test passed, I had game. So usually if I hang around with his woman friend, life was kind of Gucci. I believe that if you have a job that removes the shit test and that's throwing, hey, I want to be with you, let's hang out, let's do stuff. Oof. I can empathize where he's coming from.
I was talking to one of my friends about this and about the power dynamic and about the familiarity and not having to use that. And I said, why is that behavior not okay? Why is it not okay to sleep with somebody if it's consensual and they want to sleep with you? And he said, it's okay. Well, it is okay. It's okay until it's not.
I really love the way he said it. Because with that phrase, you're not talking about the amount. And you're not shaming him for, hey, I love to have sex. You're just making him aware that the way you act around them, it's like you have your best friend and you're all Gucci, but the moment the woman enters the room, his way of acting totally shifts because his demeanor changes, the way he acts. He might even be kind of like disrespectful to you, like, yo man, give me space, man, you see man talking with this woman, when that happens, that's when it's okay, but now it's not okay.
And that was when a lot of it clicked for me. Something that just became life controlling. I mean, I would think about it all the time. I would go and I would do my show, and like I just said earlier, and it was too much, and it became a lifestyle that I didn't know how to stop. I didn't even think I had a problem. I thought that this was how it was. I thought that guys in my position were lucky enough and fortunate enough. And it was going out of control. I never stopped it. I cheated on most of the girls that I've been with. I cheated on my fiance now. And this is my dream girl. This is the girl that I want to be with for the rest of my life. And even that wouldn't stop what I was doing. I was headed for, you know what I was headed for? I was headed for this. And this needed to happen because I wouldn't have stopped cheating. I wouldn't have stopped using sex.
Yeah, sometimes when you ramble, you say specific words, like the puzzle suddenly clicks. He's using sex to replace something. That's quite clear. Using sex, how, what, well, we won't ever know. That is something that I have realized a long time ago. That's also something that keeps me in check. Of course, I want to have sex with a bunch of women. Why not? It's an amazing thing. It's amazing art. It's a blessing. But I don't think you need to depend on sex to be happy. If you're at that level, oof, man. I'm not saying it's wrong. I never liked the idea that I need to use something so unpredictable that I know I cannot sustain because of my age in the future. I just think it's overvalued to have meaning in life.
You know, and I have been doing the work and being somebody who is a role model for my son. And
Oh man.
and I want to do that, and I can't stress that enough. You know, I can't go back, and I can't fix that part of me, that hole in me that was trying to be filled with that. You know, the loneliness on the road, or the fear that I felt, or the insecurity that I would try to chase and just conquer with sex, and it was out of control. So I have a chance here to apologize to the people who got caught up in that shit, you know, the lies that I would tell my fiance, my friends, and I'm sorry. It's funny, the stuff that you tell yourself to make everything okay, you know, like the cheating and the sex every night or whatever. You know, well, any guy would do this, which is not true. Or
Not me. No. Oh yeah. I feel so bad when he mentioned his son and that he had specific insecurity and this loneliness. That's what I mean. Why use something so unpredictable to sustain yourself? And the fact that he lost time, his son, you see, everything is like Gucci coming together. I'm like, he realized he wasted so much time to fill a specific hole when he already had a piece at home that would fill it. But his job make it so that he's so alone. So he was trapped in doing what he loved and being with his son. And now he lost specific time and he's going to try to fix it. Depending on whatever happened to the son, we don't know exactly, I assume, or I didn't bother to check. But ouch, man, that really hurts. Talking about sons. ¿Qué?
Hola, Daddy.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
it was too much, and I made too many excuses, and I can't do it anymore, and I haven't been, and I've been on this path of recovery now for a bunch of months. I'm doing well, and it's the hardest thing ever to have to look at yourself and realize that that's what it is, and that's what you've done, and that's who you are, and so that's that. But thanks for listening, and I appreciate you all. Thanks.
You will reap what you sow. You can talk to anybody with a high body count. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you will realize that's a specific emptiness. A good example is I was addicted to a specific substance, which is very interesting. Just to make sense, it was cigarette. I really enjoyed smoking, and I tried to smoke a cigarette in secret. And while doing like So the cigarette falls, or the because I was smoking on the balcony, the cigarette broke and fell below in a woman's hair, and it caught fire. And I wasn't sure if I should look on the balcony because I was like, did it burn? Did it burn? Did it burn? No, yes, no. And they saw me. And once this person saw me, he was screaming at me. And I was like, what the heck just happened? And that shock broke the spell. And I think this is what's happening to him. Some people need that lifestyle and that spell broken, because only then that will be released to grow. Because if that doesn't happen, they will keep lie and justify that, hey, it's my turn. For me, it was, you smoked, now it's my turn. My life is stressed. But the person that smoked more than 10 years when I just smoked like 2 was really angry that I was chain smoking. So I was, who are you to tell me what I should do with my life? I'm an independent male, you know. So, but there's enough people around me that make mistakes and is fulfilling with knowledge if you just take your time to observe and listen. Oh man, I just feel so bad for this dude. I'm glad he realized it before he kept doing this more in his 50s and 60s, because then it would be super gangster creepy. I mean, he did send messages to very young ladies, but then he bounced when he found out they were not 18. And he actually made the Netflix, and he was like he was a pedophile with a weird sex dungeon. It's like, it didn't look very good when the news came out. I remember that. But now that this came out with his apologies, I'm glad he is hopefully on the right path. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. Hey, just comment. Let me know what you guys think. Show me your opinion. And let's chat. I always like to chat. Hey, take care, people. Life is good.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Putta fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.